So you ever wanted to bake biscuits, but you didn't have an oven, and you didn't even have a Dutch oven? We're going to try and find out today if you can bake biscuits on a stovetop in a skillet. I don't know. Stick around. We'll find out how it turns out. So here's my skillet. I have the fire on as low as I can get it to go. Now it's windy out here. You see our backyard. Just this morning this was covered in snow. So we've had storms off and on throughout the day. So we'll see if we can't keep the fire burning with the wind that's blowing in here. I want to get this skillet warmed up. I'm going to use some Crisco for a little bit of fat in the bottom for these Grands biscuits. So we're going to try the Grands biscuits in the skillet to see how they do. So stick around and keep your fingers crossed. First thing I'm going to do is put a little grease in the bottom of this pan. I'm going to use Crisco like I told you before. Just got a little bit on this wooden spoon, if I can. And this will help brown the bottoms of the biscuits. Let's see if this is hot enough to melt some Crisco. Looks like it will after a fashion. We'll put that lid back on. We'll see if we can get that Crisco to melt. Let's get these biscuits popped open here and get them in the skillet. We're aiming for about 15 minutes in this closed skillet, so we need to keep that lid on it and see what we see. You ever kind of wince when you put your thumb through this, like it's going to blow up? That's fun. All right, let me get the lid off this skillet. So it's not horribly hot, which is what I want. I'm going to have to be kind of careful. Otherwise, the bottom of these biscuits will surely burn. And nobody likes a burnt bottom biscuit. I can already hear the bottoms sizzling into the oil. Oopsie daisy, let's not do that again. Now, these Grands biscuits, they're not bad. I've had them before when I was in a hurry, or we've used them to make donut holes and things like that, make little pizzas out of them. So they're really pretty handy. And they don't taste bad, especially when you have a bunch of butter and honey on them. All right, let's cover these up and see what happens. Well, let's see how these things are looking. Well, let's see how this looks. They are done, and they're nice and moist. That's what I like about cooking biscuits in a Dutch oven or something covered. It adds to the moisture, and all that moisture doesn't go floating off into the inside of the oven. So we'll call this little experiment successful. I'm going to grab me some butter and jam and see how they taste. Well, these weren't quite as lovely as what I'd get out of my Dutch oven, but they are certainly edible. So I've got some buttered and jammed up here that we're going to throw down our throats and see how they taste. But this just goes to show you, here's the proof. You don't need an oven. You don't need a Dutch oven. You can cook these biscuits on very low heat in a skillet that's covered. This took about 18 minutes. Grand's Biscuits. Give it a shot. Let's see how they taste. They didn't rise like they normally would, but I didn't expect it. Well, the crust is crunchy and they're still fairly light. So once again, don't have an oven, don't have a Dutch oven. Don't let that stop you from making biscuits. About 18 minutes on my grill. Be even better on your stovetop in the kitchen. Get it down on low heat. It's going to take you a minute to get them to rise. And I flipped them over once, so I got browning on both sides. Pretty good. Give it a try.